All right, it's 9 o'clock. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Go ahead and call this meeting to order. I need approval of the agenda. Is there any deletions, corrections, additions?
Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. All right, there's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Approval of minutes from April 17th, 2023.
I didn't see any corrections on there, so I'll make a motion to approve Monday, April 17th minutes.
I will second.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
It was nice having a one-page minute. That's what I was gonna say.
That's
That's
okay,
what the
all
last
those
several.
resolutions. All right, first item on the agenda is secondary roads. We have Zach. We have a utility permit and some drain work. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning. Morning, Zach.
Utility permit is basically another section of one that we've looked at here last summer. This is for Western Iowa Networks or Bria Telephone. Basically, this is serving or filling in some of the areas down and around Dedham. Some of these that aren't dashed in red have already been approved in other permits, but these are areas that were not included on the previous submittals.
And this is for all for fiber.
It's all for fiber, yep. It's a continuation of the grant that they applied for the rural.
So they're just doing this here with this permit?
No, all the ones in the red,
Okay.
all the ones in the red are being done with this one.
So it's a continuation then.
Right. Yeah, they'll be crossing 141 down there. We have a DOT permit to cross 141 and then all these other short segments in red.
Are they burying that in the ditch on top, still on the side, right on the side?
Trying to do on the shoulder of the road, if at all possible. It depends on whether utilities are in the way and what's going on. There's some places we've gone other places, but that's where the intent is to start. And then depending on what we encounter, we kind of move from there. So some places are pretty busy, others there really isn't a whole lot out there. We still have some room. So it kind of depends on the mile and where we're at there. Still talking with them about boring all of our culverts, going underneath all of those, unless it's very deep, then we probably have some other stipulations we can do, but met with them again this spring to kind of reaffirm what we've been doing and what our plan is, so.
Are they back at it?
They are,
I thought so.
yeah, they started plowing probably 2 weeks ago, and then or maybe a week before that even, so. So, Mother Nature finally kind of decided to let it keep going, so.
So when you're saying on the shoulder, is that the travel portion of the shoulder, right on the edge of the travel portion of the road?
So like on a gravel road, it'd be like between the edge of the gravel and the grass, maybe a little bit of the grass, maybe a little bit of the road, depending on what's there.
Yeah.
But that's where we shoot for on the gravel,
How deep are they burying it then?
minimum of 36 inches, but we try to go a little bit more than that if possible.
And then after they fix it, if there's still a spot that softens up or falls in, they come in there, shut them back in and.
Yep, they come back in and we work with them. I mean, if it's just normal stuff, we'll help blade things in a little bit and help shape it up, but they're out there doing restoration on areas that need it as well.
So before they do it, are you blading off where they go out into the gravel?
Yep, if we have the gravel row on one side and that's the side they're going on, we'll blade that to the other side for them and get that out of the way.
Question on that. Remember last year we went down 230th and Mahogany? Is that survived the winter and did it get repaired like it should have been?
It's not bad. It's not
I
bad.
haven't drove it. But
Yep, I haven't driven on it recently, but from everything I've been told, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I think it's healed up some, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the utility permit. Western Iowa Networks in the Dedham area.
I'll second. There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item I have is a drain for Drainage District 74. This is in Grant 15. There's about a 20-inch tile that is got a hole in it. Don't know for sure how in-depth this one will be, but if it's just one spot, if there's a couple locations, but as we dig into it, we'll find out more. Just southeast of Phoenix and 180th.
I'll make a motion to approve the drain permit for Grant Township, section 15.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Last thing I have on the list is basically the setting our right of way, values as far as acquisition for right of way, for property, as well as for crop damages. We did, I think the last time we did this was 2021. We did it for some, getting some property for a couple box culverts, just small areas. This year, we're gonna have a little bit bigger areas with the M66 right where we're trying to get. There'll be larger sections that we're trying to acquire, I guess, by easement. As well as some borrows where we might get some dirt from as well. So the crop damage part of that will be dependent upon when this happens. And obviously, maybe it will happen fall after crops come out. It's got to see kind of how fast things come together and contractor availability and all that. So did update all these numbers based on kind of current values of commodities, input costs, and crop prices, as well as some of the fence numbers haven't been changed in a while either. So we've upped those a little bit to try to get more in line with what those costs truly are.
On that crop damage, how much does that change from the last time?
I believe
Yeah,
corn was $800 an acre.
Oh, it was higher than that, wasn't
Well, that's, keep in mind, that's kind of replacing input costs is what you're doing. You're not necessarily always getting back to what
it? Well,
a revenue would be from that acre, but it was 800 where we were in 2021. I believe beans and alfalfa were 560.
I thought they were higher than
So just curious, how often do you run into this where you're damaging corn or soybeans or?
Not very often. I
I didn't
mean,
think you'd go out that far, but
we're looking,
Shoulders wider.
we're like 15 to 20 feet is what we'll be acquiring if on this project. I mean, this is a big project for us and that's not a norm, I would say.
That's how far out you're trying to go on that deal.
It varies depending on where the hills are and what we're
that.
trying
That's
to do.
some borrow pits that you gotta pay it on.
Or some of the borrows are, we may go a little bit further, but again, if it's a borrow, then it's something they're gonna continue to own. We're just basically renting that while we're kicking the dirt off and then we'll put it back, but. The 15 to 20 feet roughly, that will be something we'll get a permanent easement on.
Yeah.
To be able to build our forest slope and build our ditch out further.
Yeah,
And extend some of the culverts.
Yep, we're gonna be doing that with our own crews. Extend, there's multiple culverts, box culverts and pipes that we need to extend to make that work as well, so.
Borrow pits, you pay the crop damage and there's crop damage and plus a third of the, according to this, a third of the, whatever the real estate fee is. Because once you do that borrow pit, there's a time frame in there where the yields are reduced till they get the ground, hit the soil till. builds
These
up
aren't
back
borrow
up.
pits, these are scraping off the top of the hill.
Right.
That's borrow.
But it's,
Oh, okay. I was thinking
You
pit
take
loops
the
is
black-
fine. No, I asked him.
You take the black pit dirt off,
Yeah.
then you take the others out underneath and you bring the black dirt back on top.
fully answer your question, that we don't do the crop damage very often, like when we do around like the box culverts. Most of those areas are in pasture or grass or a waterway, so we're not even damaging crops at that point in time anyway, so.
Okay.
Unless it's a bigger project like this, a lot of times you don't, but. That's why those numbers probably weren't updated, because they really weren't used very often. This is a year where there's a better chance they will be based on the project that we're doing, so.
Anybody else have any more questions?
Yeah, what's, I've never heard this in my life, so what's rod on the fence?
16.5 feet.
It's a length.
Yeah.
It's a surveying term that they came up with, why they did that
It's
instead of,
an old measuring 16.5 feet.
2 boots and 1 shovel.
Yeah.
4 hands.
That's how they used to measure horses.
Yeah,
by hand.
yeah.
yep. That's,
That's what a rod is.
yeah, Gene's spot on.
Well, I'll go
It's a
ahead and
fence
make a,
post if that's.
I will say one thing, I went through this, with the current prices. I think you've done a very good job on this program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's spot on.
It's trying to find that happy medium of where you're at. I mean, obviously, there's years that things are really good and things that, so you're trying to find that sweet spot, I guess.
Now the alfalfa and the pay and stuff that I couldn't answer that, we'd come over that one, but. No, I'll make a motion to approve our 2023 right away and crop damage values.
I'll second that.
there's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Zach, I have 2 quick things for you. real
Okay.
quick. One, have you been in contact with the rate control? Because there is money to be received if you have to put gravel or improve a road. It's to the tune of 27,000 maybe,
Okay,
just a.
I've talked with the director a couple times as far as the route, specifically the gravel portion
Gravel
that they're,
route, yeah.
they're looking at doing. And really the biggest takeaway I have from that, and I've known this from previous discussions, not with him, but with his former, the former director. They like the gravel roads to be as they are. They don't want anything additional done. You blade them, a few days in advance or a week in advance. They don't, because more gravel, loose gravel is worse.
Makes it
for 'em.
worse, yeah.
So they just like them as they are, and they pick their route based on whether it's a scenic view or whether it's just the location they want to go, but they drive those and they're okay with that.
Okay, and they're aware of the one stretch that they're gonna be going on that does do some maneuvering.
Yep,
Maneuvering.
yep, and they said that's part of it. If it would happen to be a wet day, they'll, make a change to that or whatever they have to do, so that's why I kind of proceed with caution and they can choose their own, so.
The other thing, at some point, I wanna bring up the county ordinance for snow removal, so we can discuss that
Yep.
and shed light to that, and I know County Attorney John Warden didn't wanna do all of them at once, but I think if we break it out and maybe do 1 or 2 here and there, that'd be much. Cause I wanna get them updated, I mean, Courtney, wouldn't you agree, having signatures on there from,
Living people.
Well, the county is required to review the ordinances every 5 years, I believe,
oh,
and we haven't done that. So, it's my understanding John Warden was looking at all ordinances to make sure to snuff as far as any law changes and things like that, and he was working on that, and I would assume he'd let me know when he's done, and then you guys will have to go through each one.
Okay.
Make changes, either values or whatever, and you would have passed a new ordinance with all your names on it that are approving the previous ones. If there's changes, obviously they would be amended ordinances, so.
I just wanna keep that on the floor,
Yeah.
because we kept
It is.
saying we were gonna do it. and
Yeah.
it's-
Budget season's kind of over.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Try else?
I'm available most days this week if you want to go out about.
Okay. Okay.
Except.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is to approve payables. Did everybody have time to take a look at them? I had a few questions, but got them answered already, so.
The reason it's over $1,000,000 is because of the jail and Essex.
And I had a hard time. Of course, I wasn't feeling good one. Coming up with why we were paying 2 bond issues and also it's radio. So we're paying just as much almost on that as we do jail, but we're paying it on a shorter time, so.
Yeah, the interest is less, significantly less on the Essex project.
Finally, also the Essex kicked into my brain.
The radio system, we had
Oh, yeah.
a state unfunded state mandate that we update on.
I was
Yeah.
stated inoperable. Something.
Communication. With those two larger purchases, I didn't have any other questions. I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the payables in the sum of $1,166,479.04.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is to approve cigarette permit for Owl's Corner Oil Company. I see nothing wrong with this permit. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the permit.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Iowa statewide inoperable communication system.
There you go.
All right, item number 4, approve cost advisory service contract for services.
You've been satisfied with their services?
Yeah, there's a lot of counties that use this company to do it. So the previous fee for them to do it was $4,125. That hasn't changed since 2013. So you can see that it is going up this year. Yeah. 44.50, so it did go up a little bit, but I didn't think it was.
Well, and this is a
Crazy.
lot. When we changed this, the other company was like was double that time.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to
So-
explain a little bit to Cindy and maybe Mike too what this is?
Well, they come in once a year and they look at all of our expenses and revenues. I wouldn't say it's kind of like a mini audit.
Yeah.
But anyway, they do that because they help us recapture our indirect costs for DHS. So we get reimbursed from the state, 30-some% or something like that for our costs to have that this year in town. In order to get money from the state for having a local DHS office, we have to do this.
It is like a little mini audit though. It's a
Kind of.
checks and balance.
Yep.
Well, they basically do that and they set up our indirect costs for any, they can use that for any federal funding
Yes.
that we have indirect costs to.
Yeah. Right
Just
now, we
federal
basically
funding.
Right.
Utilize it mainly for DHS.
Or
but yes.
state, how much we
State.
get back on the VHS?
Oh, just under 40,000, I think. Obviously, there's more costs than 40,000 to house locally because they're in our building,
Yeah.
they pay utilities and everything, but I think. When that decision was made, it was before my time, but it was my understanding they wanted to keep the DHS office.
Try to keep
Yeah.
the regional officer here.
A lot of times the people
So
that
that
are
was
using
one
it.
reason why we kept it.
Yeah.
I think at one point in time, they used to, each county had one and then they started consolidating and it got to be kind of a fight. And actually, I think don't we get reimbursed from one other county yet a little bit,
We do get reimbursed from,
which is,
hope I'm right on this, Green, Crawford, Audubon, like some counties around here.
very unusual, so.
It isn't significant dollars, it's under 10 for each counny, but they do help pay
Help
for
pay
some of
for it.
that.
Yep.
Because their citizens are using.
I will make a motion that we approve the cost advisory service contract unless there's some other questions.
I will second. There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I need a signature versus county official there.
Next item on the agenda is to approve the inter-fund transfers where we would be transferring the sum of $1,332,961 from rural service basic funds to secondary roads fund during the budget year 2022-2023.
I will make a motion to that effect.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Can we do a roll call on the? 'cause it's a-
Oh, it's a resolution. I'm sorry.
Houseman?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Scatterico? Yes. Myers?
Yes,
Motion carries. So that takes care of the rural one, and then we do have one for the general fund as well.
This one will be going from general fund basic to secondary roads in the amount of $138,775.
Make a motion to. Move 138,775 from the general to secondary roads.
Second. There's a motion and a second. It's a resolution, so roll call.
Houseman?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Federico?
Yes.
Miners?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. I'll pass the resolution around. There's a place for you all to sign.
All right, the next item is to approve the CDBG down payment assistance program, the sub-recipient agreement. Basically, this is whereas the county has applied to the Iowa Economic Development Authority for federal funds from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development pursuant to the Community Development Block Grant Program. The Iowa Administration Code to carry out performance targets as described in contract. So basically, we're agreeing for them to continue this program on our behalf, correct? Is that, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, this is an amendment to that original contract that the board approved. She stated in the email that the total amount changed due to the increase in programs. Sorry, you guys allowed them to do more than the original number of awards, I'll call them. So this is just updating that dollar amount.
So it was, what was it? Because we're at, was it 15? It was more than that.
I don't think she has it here with the original contract.
But now we're going to 165,500.
We thought this was dead, correct? And they added more money.
Well, they keep making the money stretch up.
That's what I was gonna say. We thought we would be done by now, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing, but sad part, when this is done, we're done.
Right.
We can't get it again. It's
They
been a
keep
good-
funding it, we'll keep spending it.
Yeah.
Or not.
Well, I don't
we,
think
it'll
it's just
keep
stretching the
spending.
dollars out.
I think Carla said the last time we talked to her that this will be it. If there's any more funds available to continue it.
Yeah, we're done after this.
Well, I'll go ahead and make a motion to amend the agreement with Region 12.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah, their signature stuff.
Thank you. All right, item number 7 is to approve the plat for Lorraine Top. You saying that right? Lorraine?
Lonnie.
Lonnie Top.
Marnie. Marnie.
Lonnie.
Yeah.
Marnie that. What are they doing there? Just splitting that up?
Yeah, I think he has a child that's trying to buy some of it.
Okay.
They're splitting that farm up there. It's more around the acreage is what it is. Doing just little chunks at a time. I'll make a motion for the plat.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And we're to committee reports.
I'll go. Last week, Tuesday, I attended CCGP meeting at noon. Wednesday, I went to Western Iowa Advantage in Odebolt for their annual banquet.
Held on.
Got hailed on. It was a fun drive home. Friday. Some county and city people met with Brian Best at Naples for lunch discussing House File 718. I think that was value added.
Yes. there was a lot of discussions, I
Yeah, I mean-
think, just beyond just that, but
Yeah.
it was good.
Saturday, attended the legislative forum, excuse me, in Dedham. This week. Tomorrow, we have a phone call with Beatty Construction, trying to dot the i's and cross the t's, perhaps of the upcoming move of the courts going downstairs, the timing of all of it. Tomorrow night, there's a county roundtable in Dedham, at the Dedham Legion. There's an open house before it for the Centennial Building, a tour of Centennial Building. I think that starts at 5:30. I did also last Friday, Courtney, attend the library's chamber coffee. Questions?
Always the library chamber coffee.
It was the normal crowd, and this is official library week, correct, Aaron? I think it started yesterday. So it's the official, I don't know if it's a national or a statewide thing, but I think they have several activities going on this week.
They had great coffee.
Was it good?
For the chamber.
Great coffee and really good books.
That's all I have.
Well, I can go next.
Wait, Wednesday night is comprehensive plan at Region 12 for the county's new comprehensive plan. Wednesday night also.
That's just the committee members are meeting on that.
It's I believe, the Board of Adjustment, a couple members, and the Planning and Zoning Board, and a couple of supervisors. We're in the beginning, this will be the second meeting.
Okay, Monday, attended the HVAC meeting that we had with Beatty. Did do some document signing with new out by electronic means. And I basically stepped out of everything else over the week, and then I did attend the Guest Center board meeting Friday by Zoom. Numbers are down there. Right now, we're down to 3, 2 of those being BIAs. Accounts receivable have dropped considerably down to 56,000.
Who paid up? Who paid up?
Everybody did,
Wow.
but it's just a matter that the numbers have went down so fast now. But everything else looks fine.
Why would the numbers drop so drastically?
Well, kind of a couple things. I think counties are getting tight on their budgets because, and so the JCOs have heard that, and they're kind of saying, yeah, we maybe ain't gonna force this one to go up there for a while. So I think they're just kind of giving everybody a little reprieve. And
How many empty beds were there?
well, it's 15 bed facility up there.
There are some empty.
Yeah, there are only 3 up there Friday at that time, but that can change so fast.
Right,
Okay. This week I plan on being available for the temporary move meeting. And I plan on going to the Carroll County Roundtable. I do have a policy council meeting at the same time, but you know, I'm good, but not that good. I can make both of them, so I have selected, I'll attend the county roundtable. And then Thursday I have new opportunity board meeting. One thing, surprised you say something. On CCGB, they did have an announcement last Friday that they did get a $200,000 grant for the business, for the,
Hub 712,
Yeah.
or 712 hub.
yeah. So, which is supposed to be a business resource center here in Carroll. So that's
Basically
good
for
news.
Western Iowa,
Yeah.
for all the
Western.
counties that touch Carroll County.
Yeah.
Really? That's nice.
Yeah.
That's my week and I'm gonna stick with it.
How much they get to?
200,000. They're hoping to employ one full-time
Then
person. That might go a long ways toward that, plus, I don't know if it's been specified what all the funds are gonna be spent for, you know, this Tuesday at the meeting, that award was not announced, so this came after the meeting.
After the meeting.
I'll go next. Last week I had Wesco. Everything's going really well over there. They're actually, the job positions that they have open are in more of the management positions, which are harder to fill. They have 3 of those available.
Quick
Everything else,
question on Wesco, did they reopen their can thing?
no.
Can-
And they did receive the go-ahead and funding to keep the Vale, house open, which is a transitional space. So it's It's really good.
That was through Rolling Hills.
Yep, much needed. I met again, like Scott said, with Brian Bust. And then I did apply or register for the opioid meeting in Des Moines in May. Then I had a couple emails and follow-ups about a couple issues in the county. But then this week I have the newspaper radio. And I'm going to try and make it to the Dedham Roundtable. And that is all.
Are you going to the opioid thing by yourself?
I think,
Did you register?
Not yet. We've got till the end of this week to
yeah,
try to get.
I
a
just
free
did it because a
hotel.
lot of times I just.
Yeah.
The conference itself is no charge. And then I don't know if they're giving out free hotel rooms
We're
for
gonna
that night
try
at
if they get
the,
enough people.
the Embassy Suites downtown,
Yeah, the opioid outfit will be picking up those
Yeah.
rooms.
hopefully.
Hopefully, they're gonna do so many, of them.
Mhm.
So
I haven't done the room yet. I just did the.
Actual.
I think I tried to get that done.
It said by the 28th is when the
I
deadline
think
is.
sooner the better, you,
Okay.
I'll get that done today.
because I think it's gonna be kind of first served.
I'll go next. Last week I went to the North Raccoon Watershed Quarterly Meeting and basically they just told what funding's left with all three partnerships that are involved in that. This week I have that baiting meeting tomorrow and the Dedham Roundtable on obviously tomorrow night too. That's it.
So Monday, I had the child care meeting, and it does look like they might have to close the daycare for a day during Red Run. Because of the traffic.
Yeah.
And then I had, I did the DCAT via Zoom. Mostly budgeting issues. And they are being defunded, and if I told you that before. Have you all heard that?
Mhm.
And then I went to the IFRW Spring Conference on Saturday. And then I plan on going to the meeting, or I guess it's a call-in for Tuesday. Tomorrow.
Yeah. What,
And then-
what'd you do Saturday? What was that one?
It was,
IF,
Iowa Federation of Republican Women's Spring
okay.
Conference over in Jefferson.
All right.
Carroll County actually hosted the silent auction. So, a large portion of those, funds will be going to Vietnam veterans in Carroll County. We're gonna be raising additional funds in other ways, and we'll probably do something towards early fall. But it's still in the works. I'll try to make it to the round table. Maybe I can just come for part in the beginning, so that's all I have. Courtney, what do you got?
I did receive we got one from the state. Liquor license application. For Back Pocket Brewing, I didn't put it on the agenda because we need to send in the county application. I think you guys have done some work on like where they're gonna be at and if it's okay and some other
I think
things, but-
before we can approve that, they need to apply for the county.
Yeah. So right now I'm working on, somebody sent me one that Pocahontas County used.
For their permit.
Yeah, but they charged a fee on their permit. And there was some other things on there, so I'm trying to cobble it so we can use it.
I think my recommendation would be, the 0 fee charge, but they're getting no services for it too, because they're gonna be, everybody who's applied so far is wanting to be on private property and they're providing their own porta potties and their own electricity. So I think 0 fee, but I think the county still needs to, the board needs to approve it. And that's the first step before they can get the beer license and food license.
So you guys, just so you're aware, I do have this application from the state from them. I'm hoping to get that sent to him today and you can have it on the agenda for next week. So next time we meet is gonna be May 1st. Does that sound right?
Mayday.
All right, so I'll have some tax suspensions for some people that are eligible. And then some more interfund transfers. Those are gonna be more of those that we budget for in the general fund and we move it to capital funds for the ambulance, environmental health, and the county too. So That's all I have there.
Anybody in attendance?
City council tonight, we're going to address, hopefully we're gonna waive the reading and pass the final ordinance to allow the, special use exception that's been all over the county discussed. Hopefully we'll get that done this evening. We're redoing our downtown urban revitalization and renewal area to help with, a housing proposal over here, or over there, so I think it's over there, on different court, is that right? With Adam Shear. Got a resolution and a letter of support and, yeah, it's, zoning letter saying, yeah, it's all good. I think those are the highlights for our council meeting today.
Speaking of which, Gene, did you have any input on Highway 30 on how Adam Schwer's meeting went?
Oh, yeah, well, did it? I thought I told you at the last meeting, didn't I? But, yeah, Adam had his meeting down in the state. And from what he said at the last phone conference, that it was well received, but there was 3 commissioners that even before that had their mind made up.
3 out of 5?
And so he's 3 out of 6.
Thanks.
And we need to get them to change their minds a little bit. But I mean, the report he's got is very positive. I mean, this is about as positive as we can get. So and Adam is, I think he's right. The problem is right now, they have all those members are from down around Des Moines area. And there should be one from each DOT district.
Yeah.
And I think one of our friends that used to be on highway, well, he still is on Highway 30, but was the mayor of supervisor over at Clinton, Tom Detterman. Now, a state representative is trying to get a bill passed to make that happen, that each commissioner has to come from the district.
Yeah, right. Equal representation.
So,
Sorry, I didn't mean to extend the meeting, but
One other thing to add, though, I sat on a county webinar this last week about federal funding for the infrastructure bill. And there's a lot of road and bridge money out there through the federal government to apply for. I don't know, might want to talk to Adam about if we could try and put Highway 30 on that application. I don't know if that would work or not, but
have you been following up on some of them grants too?
A little bit, I've seen they're very specific in what they're looking for sometimes in some of those grants. So fitting the right situation, I guess, and I don't know if that would fit that or not, but it's very far reaching as far as what the money is for, but what they're specifically looking for to rank high is tough, I think, in some of those scenarios.
I did check online. There was no comments.
motion to adjourn.
Wait, I got one question. With Lanesboro, TIF, was there a map sent with them? Or they TIF in the whole community,
You mean Lauderdale?
or, no, was it,
Lanesboro doesn't have a tip.
were they gonna updo their sewer?
Time out, I'm gonna go grab that and send it. I was thinking of Lauderdale.
Sorry, guys, I'm gonna extend the meeting.
No,
I have a question while she's away.
Yeah.
Do you think we could get someone to look into, and pretty much clueless, which is why I'm asking. We have a business owner that is interested in doing something with the old Burger King. And we've all kind of dug, looking for information. We can't really find the owner or how we would even do anything with that. Would you happen to be?
if I remember right, that's in almost a forever lease or something.
Right,
That person probably is getting paid some way somehow, so there's not a lot of emphasis or push to have them sell. I don't remember who owns it. I'll check with Perry.
company out of
California.
California,
California,
but
But so, I mean, I guess my question is, so I guess we just have to leave it sit there empty, is that the only, yeah,
Am I right, it's Lanesboro?
It is Lauderdale.
It is.
Yeah, and they are doing a municipal sanitary sewer improvement project. And I think the amendment is just adding that project. Because it doesn't look to me like they're adding any new parcels to their area,
Okay,
so.
well. I'm sorry.
Motion
That's
to
okay,
adjourn.
Second, there's a motion on this. Get any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.